Good. Welcome to the corner. My name's Danny Calafell. Every Monday, this is the first Monday of the year, 2021, 2021, 2021. We got to get used to saying that. First Monday of the year. Every Monday, I normally come to you guys live talking about business, sales, increasing income. Give you guys tips, strategies, techniques on how to amplify whatever it is you got going on. Whether you're in business, you're in sales, you're in a career, you're looking to get better in your career. You're looking for a better opportunity with a career. This is what I'm going to be talking about today. It's a launch. I really wanted to extend what I normally come on and do. I normally come on for about 20, 30 minutes, give a couple of tips here and there on whatever circumstances or whatever, pinpointing different areas. Like I said, whether it's, you're looking to increase your income, you're in sales, you're looking to get better in it. Or you're just an entrepreneur, you're a solopreneur, you're looking to just figure it out. You're looking to, find ways that you can do better than what it is that you're doing. And that's what I really wanted to come on here today and talk about. That's the main point of today, of what you can do better, how you're going to be able to jumpstart 2021 to make it the best year ever. How are you going to be able to make it the best year compared to previous years? How are you going to make it better than what we all went through back in 2020? Just taking a step back to last year, a lot of people got hit. A lot of people got impacted. We're going into this year with not much of a difference. Okay, I mentioned this the other day on social media. I came on, and a little quick story that I threw on. But, for the most part, we're not seeing any sort of a difference in our circumstances. Okay, so this is all going to have to do with mindset. It's all going to have to do with the way that you're going to be looking at things and the way that you're going to be operating in comparison to what it is that you were doing last year. Last year we got hit. We had falls. We had bumps in the road. Now what are you going to do going forward? And for those of you that are for the first time tuning in, you guys don't know anything about me. I am a what's this here? There we go. For those of you, I was checking my notes. For those of you that are just tuning in for the first time, you guys don't know anything about me. You guys are like, hey, who the hell is this guy? He's coming on here. Look, I've been in business 10 years. I've had my company 8 years. I have one of the top business consulting and marketing firms in the country. I'm a speaker, sales trainer. I consider myself a pro in business and sales, and it's not just me, it's others. I've been around some of the most successful people. Now 3 years. I was saying 2 years. I'm getting farther and farther along. 3 years ago, I had an opportunity to be around three billionaires, and I'm around and surround myself around some of the most successful people. I'm mentored by some of the most successful individuals, and relationships consisting of some of the largest companies in the world. Now, I tell this to people all the time. Just because I have a lot going on and I have a lot to stand on doesn't necessarily mean I know everything. So what I do is I stick to what I know. A lot of people, they come to me and say, hey, you should speak about this. You should talk about this. You give a lot of great advice. You know a little bit about this. You know a little bit about that. That's the point. I don't want to talk about what I know a little bit about. I want to talk about what I know a lot about. I want to know what I want to talk about, and I want to help people in areas that I have studied, I've worked at, I put a tremendous amount of effort in understanding, and that's business, sales, and strategy. Now, when it comes down to those three categories, okay, I get my advice. I ask a lot of questions to the people that I not only look up to, but the people that I'm around. Okay, so I channel this to you guys. I explain the things that I see that people are doing wrong, and I channel that to you guys. And that's the point of this show. That's the point of me coming on. Now today, I want to talk about how to jumpstart your year. And that's going to be basically, okay, 4 parts to this. Okay, there's 4 parts to this. First, we're going to talk about mindset. Next, we're going to talk about goals and targets. Next, it's going to be responsibility and then execution. Okay, so why is it important to have a good mindset right now? Well, last year, like I mentioned, nothing has changed from last year to this year. Nothing, circumstance-wise. Okay, that's why the mindset's so important. You guys got to put your mindset in a position of understanding what you need to do differently from last year in order to get a different amount of results compared to what was gotten last year. Because like I mentioned, we're carrying into this year. And by us carrying into this year, we're bringing along a lot of the things that we had going on last year. Whether it was a bad financial scenario, whether you're in business and you had some rough patches and rough edges, just because the year trend, just because it hit January 1st and now the first day of the week, okay, first day of the work week, January 4th, just because it hit January 4th doesn't mean that everything just automatically starts all over again. We hit the reset button and everything's all good as new. It doesn't work like that. So a lot of people are carrying this over. People that are in debt, people that are have been struggling for a while because of what happened when this hit last year in March. Okay, so how do you change the circumstances going forward? Well, number one thing is, like I said, mindset. You gotta have in place the right mindset. You gotta have in place the right mindset, making a decision that, hey, you know what happened. What am I gonna decide to do, and how am I gonna decide to do it going forward? What am I gonna do differently? In other words, okay, I could keep thinking about what happened before. I could keep thinking about, I get into a car, let's say you get into a car accident, right? I get into a car accident. I could keep thinking week after week, day after day, even after the fact, right after the fact. Can't believe that this happened. I can't believe that this happened. It's not going to change what happened. I got to start thinking, what can I do going forward? Do I need to rent a car? How am I going to get my car fixed? What am I going to do? What am I going to do in order to get from point A to point B? Because my car's down. I got into an accident. My car's wrecked. Okay, so now I need to start thinking, okay, after I take care of the insurance claim, after I take care of the insurance scenario, after I take care of if I hit somebody, after we get all of that taken care of, I'm already thinking, where am I going to take it to get fixed? What do I need to do to replace the car that I have right now because my car's not available? I just got into an accident. Do I need to rent a car? Where am I going to rent the car from? Okay, do I need to call my insurance company? If I have AAA, do I need to call AAA? See, these are the things that I'm starting to think about. How am I going to get over there? Okay, do I need to call an Uber? Do I need to call Lyft? Do I even have those apps on my phone? Okay, that's the mindset I'm talking about. So it's like my mind is not going to be focused on what happened. My mind is not going to be focused on the accident. Okay, after the fact, hey, everybody's okay. I'm okay. The other person's okay. Fantastic. Now, what am I going to do going forward? Do I need to go? Which car rental place am I going to go to? Okay, then when I get a car, then how am I going to operate? Where am I going to take my car to get fixed? Okay, do I need to start? Do I already have a mechanic in place or a shop in place that not a mechanic, a body shop in place that's going to be able to do the repairs? Who's going to do the repairs? It's going to be my insurance company. So all these things are going through my mind. I'm done thinking about, oh, I can't believe I got into an accident. I can't believe it. That's the problem. A lot of people, they can't move forward and they can't move past what ended up happening because they're still dwelling on what happened. You can't look in the rear view. Okay, 2020 is over. Now, yes, I mentioned that we're bringing a lot of the baggage over into 2021. But the mindset is what I'm saying. Your mindset needs to be, okay, how can I eliminate this baggage? Okay, how can I eliminate the baggage? Do I need to start, itemizing it? Okay, from the most important to the least important, which I would suggest. And that's where we're going to go into the steps. Okay, so next thing is going to be, so you already have the mindset right. Now it's goals and targets. Because when I have my mindset right, when I have the right idea of what I need to do, not maybe what I need to do, but the state of mind that I need to do something in order to change my circumstance. I always talk about to change, you have to change. So in order to change the circumstances that you're in, you got to change what it is that you're doing or what it is you did to end up where you are. Okay. A lot of people, they're like, oh, well, we come. we come across companies all the time and they're like, we have so much experience in this and that and this. And I'm like, okay, well, if you have that much experience and you're satisfied where you are, then why are you having problems right now? Obviously, you must not be doing something right, because if you were doing something right, you wouldn't be in the circumstance that you're in. So you have to change whatever it is that you were doing before in order to change the circumstance that you're in. If you want to grow, you got to change in ways that's going to help you to grow. If you want to expand, you got to change in ways that's going to help you to expand. If you want to start hiring more people, you need to change in ways to give you the ability to be able to hire either better people, more people, hire people, period. You know, the average business in the U.S. has one employee. It's the average. Majority of businesses, majority of small businesses, said that wrong. Sorry about that. Majority of small businesses in the U.S. have one employee. So what are you going to do differently this year to make sure that you don't have one employee any longer? You start expanding. But again, you have to do things differently from what it is that you did last year, the year before that, and from the moment you started the company. Okay, obviously there's been some growth. If there hasn't been any growth, that's a problem in itself. So again, if you want to grow, you got to think, okay, what do I need to do in order to grow? What do I need to change? There's something I'm not doing right. There's something that I've not been doing right. There's maybe some information. There's a lot of information that I may not know that I need to start learning, or I need to start understanding, or I might need to start investing in a certain area to hire the right person to be able to help me bring on the right people, more people, expand, give more people opportunities. Okay? That's the mindset tied into goals and targets. Now, what's a goal? Okay, a goal, because a lot of people confuse goal and target. A goal is a long-term thing. Could be short-term. Okay, but my goal is, for example, this year, if you're a business owner, let's say you want to hit 5 million by the end of the year. You want to hit 10. Let's throw a number. You want to hit 10 million at the end of this year in sales. Okay, that's your goal. Now your target is, what am I going to do that's necessary in order to be able to hit the 10 million? Do I need to hire more people? Do I need to make more phone calls? Do I need to take more action? Okay, what did I do last year that enabled me or stopped me or prevented me from hitting the goal that I was supposed to hit last year? And if I did hit the goal, okay, why did I make my goal so easily attainable? Why didn't I make it something that was bigger so that way it turned into a target rather than a goal? See, a lot of you guys end up setting small goals, okay? Especially in the new year. We're in a new year. Everybody sets resolutions. Everybody, this year we're going to do this differently. This year we're going to do that differently. I'm going to start losing weight. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get in better shape. I'm going to start eating healthy. I'm going to start being around the right people. I'm going to start cutting out certain people. I'm going to start, thinking differently. I'm going to start doing this. And then for how long does that last? Now, the number one reason people fail at their goals is because they don't set the goals high enough. That's the number one reason. You're not setting your goals high enough. You make it so easily attainable. Not to mention, you're also making it to the point where it's so easily achievable that it's not going to change anything. I want to drop 5 pounds. That's not going to do anything. It's not going to do anything. You're not saying, hey, I want to work on being healthy so that way I don't have to have health issues 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now. Okay? I want to drop a certain amount of weight so I can change my wardrobe. I want to make, when it comes to making money, I want to make enough money that I can travel to 3 countries this year. Okay. I want to make enough money that I can, I can start putting money aside to invest. I can buy something huge. If you're into buying homes, I want to buy a house. Okay. That's the goal. But what are you going to do in order to achieve that? What are the targets? You got to increase your income. If you're looking to make a large investment like that, you have to increase your income. Because if not, you would have did it already. You would have already done the goal that you're setting yourself for this year, or that you did last year. You would have already did it if it was that easily attainable. So that's what I mean, that you have to set your goals so high that it's actually going to make a difference. That's goal setting. Okay. Targets are, what do I need to do in order to achieve the goal that I set? Next thing is going to be on top after goals and targets. Okay, well actually, I'm going to stick on goals and targets for a minute. So, like I mentioned, you have a lot of people, they set these you have a lot of people, they set these goals, they set these resolutions, and they quit. And they quit because they don't have a solid game plan. I wrote a book last year. It was called The Sales Roadmap. And you guys can find that on Amazon. You go to my website, dannycalafell.com. And in that book, I wrote that for a reason. I didn't do it to just say, I didn't do it just to put it out there and say, hey, I'm gonna make. I think it sells on Amazon for like $7, $8. It's a booklet. It's 33 pages, 8 chapters. It took me about 2 hours to write it. Okay, and I just wanted to throw something out there just to give somebody just to give people, right, tools and resources, somewhat of a tool or resource, right, that they can use in order to figure out when it comes to this whole goal setting and target scenario, right? So the reason why I wrote the sales roadmap was there's 3 types of people. You have people who know where they're at. You have people who are looking to grow or get to somewhere and they know where they want to get to. Okay, whether it's like, hey, I want to make a lot of money, I know exactly what I want, but they don't know where they're at. Okay, and then you have the third type where they know where they are, they know where they want to be at, but they don't know what it is that they need to do in order to achieve those goals. They don't know what it is they need to do in order to hit those targets. Okay, so I wrote the book as that line. Okay, so you have your target. You have where you're at, you have your goal, and then you know exactly what you need to do in order to achieve it. I tell people all the time when you're taking a trip, I use this analogy all the time. If you're taking a trip somewhere, you have to know where it is that your starting point is. You got to know where your starting point is. Nowadays we know, but can you imagine if you wanted to go somewhere and you didn't know where you were gonna start from? You'd be 100% unprepared. You'd be unprepared because you don't know where your starting point is. You don't know if you're an hour away. You don't know if you're 8 hours away. You don't know if you're a day away. And this could be for anything. I'm talking about taking a trip, right? I mean, this can be for like I mentioned, for goals. You don't know how far away you are from hitting your targets. You don't know how far away from hitting your goals you are if you can't determine and understand where your starting point is. Everybody could have big dreams. Everybody could have, big things that they want to do in their life. But if you don't know where your starting point is, you're never going to be able to get there. Number one. Number two, then you have to start understanding, okay, what is it that I need to do in order to achieve those goals? So I need to set many targets. And I need to figure it out. If I want to increase sales and I'm in business, I know I have to increase my productivity. I have to increase. If I'm in sales, I need to increase the amount of calls that I make. I need to increase the amount of contacts that I contact, the amount of people that I talk to. I need to call more people. I need to contact more people. I need to increase my opportunities to land sales, because it's a numbers game in sales. A lot of things is a numbers game, but in sales, it's a numbers game. More people I contact, more people I reach out to, the more likely I have to getting meetings. And those meetings turn into closed deals. Even if I'm in the worst. I tell this to salespeople all the time. You could be the worst salesperson. Your thing is going to be volume. The more volume, the more opportunity you have. And then you could work the skill set out from there. But it's volume. It's consistency. Okay? It's being frequent. We talk about that. You got to be frequent. Okay? So that's it for goals and targets. Now, next thing is you got to take responsibility. I see a lot of people that they don't take responsibility for anything. They tend to blame if they got let go from the job. Hey, I blame the job. Hey, I blame the virus. Hey, I blame the pandemic. Hey, I blame the government. Hey, I blame with the whole political situation. It's the president's fault. This is status. This. Everybody puts the blame on everybody else except themselves. And this is where the taking responsibility comes into place. I'm in the position I'm in because of me, not because of other people. It's so easy to put the blame on everybody else. Okay? Another thing that we say, and you guys could write this down. Another thing that we talk about. Things don't happen to you. Things happen because of you. If you did something, chances are the reason why you did that is the reason why you're in the circumstance that you're in. Okay? Everybody last year, everybody was so comfortable of, hey, I have my routine. I go to work. I get off of work. I go home. I spend a little bit of time to myself. Maybe watch some movies, relax, take it easy. On the weekends, go out, party, go to the beach, all this stuff. Everybody took it easy. Pandemic hits, boom, shuts all that down. And now it didn't only shut your fun activities down, but it gave you a wake-up call of things aren't really that good. Because if things were good, majority of people were dependent on that stimulus check. Even this time, when the first hit and everybody got their stimulus checks, everybody was excited about that. They were excited, and everybody's been going back and forth that I see, at least. I mean, I'm not on. I don't go on social media like that where I'm scrolling down. But from what I see, a lot of people, and from what I hear, a lot of people we're going with the whole back and forth of, is it going to be $2,000? Is it going to be $600? What does that matter? It shouldn't matter. You should be thinking past that, because eventually that's going to end. What are you going to do then? What are you going to do when all this stuff ends? These are things you have to think about. You can't think about, I'm dependent on this, and yes, I'm safe. No, there's no thinking like that. We're in 2021. You have to change your mindset, like I mentioned. Then you have to set right goals and targets. Okay, you have to take responsibility. I'm in the circumstance that I'm in where I'm having to depend on $600 or $2,000 instead of finding ways and opportunities that are out there that I don't have to no longer depend on it. To the point where if I do end up getting it, it's like an added bonus. It's like, oh, I got an extra $600. Oh, I got an extra $2,000. It's no longer I need this to hit my account, because without it I'm in big trouble. Okay? You have a lot of people that are still unemployed. There's opportunities out there. I keep talking about this. So many opportunities. How many companies that my company approached, that I approach? You have any idea how many companies that I approach where they're like, hey, we need more good people? This is something that you guys don't understand. You guys don't understand. There's so many opportunities out there. Everybody's talking about, hey, it's very difficult to get a job right now. Not a lot of people are hiring. People had to let go of people. Yes, people had to let go of people. Yes, not a lot of people are hiring. But there are a lot of people that are hiring. There are a lot of opportunities out there if you go out there and look for it. So if you are looking for work, or you're without work right now, you got let go, you got fired. Okay, you need to start looking for the opportunities. And you know what? It may not be something that you either enjoy doing or you have experience doing. So what does that mean? You got to increase your skill set. Companies, right? This is for people that are looking for work. Companies don't hire. Okay, I could say this because I help companies hire people. Okay, we come in, we either let go of them or we bring on new people. Now, companies don't hire only based off of experience. They hire based off of skill set. So if you have a certain skill set that you can deliver to a company that's going to benefit the company's going to bring you on. It doesn't matter the experience you have. Okay, college students have the highest rate of unemployment out of anybody else. And it's always been like that, because college students come into the employment world, okay, the career world, where they're looking for work and they have nothing but a degree. So a company has to start over with that. Okay, yeah, this person knows a bit of this and a bit of that, but where's the experience? There's a big difference between picking up a book and reading it and applying it. Okay, I could be the best. I could be the best at reading a book and picking up information and looking at YouTube videos and reading something on mechanics. Doesn't make me a great mechanic. Doesn't mean that I'm better than all the other mechanics out there, because I'm going to read so much. But it comes to understanding how much pressure I need to apply if I'm going to turn the wrench on something. I need to start feeling and getting used to everything, the amount of load that I'm going to be taking on as far as work-wise, the pressure that I'm going to be under. Okay, it's very easy to say, hey, I'm going to go under a car when it has, a little jack there supporting it, but I got to be careful. If I do one wrong thing, the car falls on me. Again, that comes from experience, but it's also the skill set. Okay, what skills have I acquired over the years? When I acquire those certain skills, that's what I'm able to sell and I'm able to propel to a job. Not, hey, I have experience and I got a degree and I got this and I got that. It doesn't work like that. Okay, it doesn't work like that. That's why, like I said, that's why the highest rate of unemployment goes to college graduates. And if you want statistics, okay, if you want statistics on when it came to the when I mentioned as far as the people that are reliable on the stimulus checks and unemployment and all of that, that's 78% of the U.S. population. There's 322 million people in the U.S. Out of 322 million people, you're talking about 78% of them live check to check. That's a huge percentage. That's almost 80%. Almost 80% of the U.S. has been dependent on the government to keep them good, to keep them going, to make sure that they've been okay. Okay, that's scary. That's very, very scary. And if you think about it, when it really comes down to it, if you really think about it, okay, it's not only scary, it's a wake-up call. It should be a wake-up call. It should be a wake-up call to the point where it's like, hey, what do I need to do so I don't fall into the 78%? What have I not been doing? How do I break this cycle? How do I make sure that I don't have to ever go through this ever again? You have a lot of people that back in 2008, now I'm not saying that this is like 2008, this is a lot worse. But you had a lot of people that in 2008, when the crash happened then, you have a lot of people that were not affected this time because they prepared, they learned from that experience. They said, hey, you know what? I'm going to make sure that this is never going to happen to me again. I know what I need to figure out what I was doing wrong. So the next time something like this happens, because they say this happens every 10 years. A pandemic like this happens every 100 years. But, a crash of the economy or the economy collapsing or economical, a retraction or something like that. That happens every, not a retraction, a contraction. That happens every 10 years. So you have people that were thinking like that, where they're like, hey, you know what do I need to do differently so that way this doesn't affect me the next go around? Something hits us, I'm not affected. I'm going to start working on that so that way the next time something like that happens, I don't need to worry about it. These are the things that you guys should be thinking about right now. All right. Not how to get out of this situation, but to make sure that you don't ever have to fall in a circumstance or a situation like this ever again. Right. So that comes as far as taking responsibility. The responsibility is on you. Responsibility is on me. I take full responsibility when something happens. If something happens, regardless of what the situation is, I always look for ways that I could have been responsible for it. Okay. Because it's my fault. All right. That's going to be that, so you ask yourself these questions. Okay. What happened? What did I do? What could I have done differently? All right. That's enough of taking responsibility. Now it comes to execution. Okay. The execution part. How do I execute all of this? How do I put all of this together? What do I need to prioritize? If I have a business, right? If I have a business, what do I need to prioritize to make sure that I focus on what's necessary, what's important? If I have a business right now, my main focus needs to be productivity. My main focus needs to be action. Taking a lot of action, being a lot more productive than I was last year. Finding ways to be more productive. Finding ways to take more action. Finding ways to do more. Because obviously what I was doing before didn't work out so well. And everybody could speak on that. Nobody there was actually, let me take that back. We have some customers that actually they had their best year ever last year, but they were taking a lot of action. They did things differently than everybody else. They figured out a way to pivot, and they figured out a way to use the momentum that they were falling from to propel themselves forward. We talk about that either on a slope, or we talk about that as like a slingshot, right? So you pull back to propel yourself forward even farther. Okay, if you're talking about a slope, a lot of people, there's a graph. I can't do it here. There's a graph. It's crazy, and it's like, you have the straight line, you have the down line, and you have the slope. Okay, and they talk about the slope being the best way, because when you're sliding down, you create a lot more speed, okay, to prepare yourself back up than if you have just the straight line. Okay, so a lot of people, they use that slope. They went down, and then they figured out what they needed to do to make that pivot. It's kind of like it's kind of like in martial arts. It's kind of like a keto. I think it's a keto. I think it's a keto in martial arts, where you use the other person's energy against them. Okay, so as you're falling, you throw yourself in the position of the other person. You make that person fall. And you're using the energy of you falling, or the energy that they're putting against you. You pull them in and you flip it around on them. I think that's called Aikido. But basically, that's what needs to be done right now. If you're in business, that's what you need to be doing. That's what you need to be focused on doing. Okay, taking the momentum, using the good things, and pivoting. Some people did that, and they had a super successful. We have customers that they, like I said, they had the best year ever last year, and it's because they knew how to capitalize. They knew how to pivot from the situation that we were in, that we got hit with. Okay, they had a retail business. Immediately they switched online. Immediately they dumped money into advertising. I heard on the news the other day, a lot of restaurants now, they're starting to invest in advertising more than they were before. And for me, I'm like, well, you guys should have thought about that way before. You guys are behind. But now people are doing that because they're understanding the importance of it. Why? Because everybody's home. Nobody's going out and eating as much as they were before. This is the mindset that I'm talking about. So we already talked about I already talked about when it came to mindset, goals and targets, taking responsibility, execution. Okay, we're on execution now. Okay, you need to take more activity. You need to be more productive. You need to take more action. It's the only way that you're going to be able to have the best year compared to what happened last year. If you were taking action last year, you got to take a lot more now. If you're in sales, you got to be making a lot more phone calls. It's not going to be 100 folk. I called a company the other day. Company told me they're making 50 calls. I'm like, how are you? You're making 50 calls a day. And they're like, yeah, we're making, in some cases, we make 20 calls. I'm like, listen, you need to turn that up right now. That's not even acceptable. What's acceptable now is I need to make 200 calls. I need to make 300 calls. I need to find a way that I can make a call a minute. I could make a call every 3 minutes. I know it's a bit exaggerative when you think about it, but when you have the mindset, like I mentioned, one of the key points, when you have the mindset to do it, you'll be so surprised in the results that you get. People don't really understand what it is that they're capable of until they actually do it. That's the problem. People sell themselves short. A lot of people, they look at something for what it is, and they get so intimidated by what's ahead of them that they don't jump forward because they're out of fear. So it's like, I'm afraid to do this because it might not work. I'm afraid to do this because I might not be able to do it. I'm afraid to say I'm going to make 300 calls a day because I might not be able to hit 300. Who cares? You put the number there. I'm going to make 300 calls. And you start dialing. You'll be so surprised that by the end of the day, how many calls you actually made. Okay, if you're same thing, and when I talk about a numbers game, I'm even talking about people that are looking for work. You have people that send out like 5 resumes a day, and they're like, okay, I'm done. And I'm like, what do you mean you're done? You should be to the point where you send out so much, you should have an influx of companies calling you up saying, hey, listen, you should have your calendar completely filled where you have to call these companies back and try to reschedule with them your interview. Okay, because you have so many that you're trying to look at, and then you can have options. You're not put in a position where you have to rely on the first company that calls you up for an interview, and you seem desperate. The only reason why people seem desperate is because their options are limited. I wouldn't be if I had 15 companies that I was going out and I was looking for work with. I had 15 companies that were interviewing me, and I had 15 of them that I could pick and choose from. I wouldn't be intimidated anymore. I'd be confident because I'm like, hey, you know what? I have so many options here that I could sit and I could pick and choose. I could say to myself, hey, you know what? I can go with this. I can go with that. I can start outweighing the good from the bad. They're paying me more. They give me more opportunity. There's opportunity for growth here. They got benefits. If I have a family, if I have kids in a family, okay, benefits are important to me. Is this company offering me benefits? If it's offering me benefits, okay, hey, I got a check mark next to that. Now I go down the next 14 companies that I have to choose from. Now, when it comes down to people that are looking for work, when they start putting out resumes, they jump on the first thing. Why? Because they're intimidated. You guys get scared because you're not doing enough. You're not taking enough action. You're not getting enough results back. You could tie this to anything. You could tie this into sales. You could tie this in if you're in business, okay, and you're looking to raise capital, or you're looking to partner up with people, or you're looking to just grow your business altogether. You're looking for employees, right? We talk about this a lot of times with companies that are hiring. They jump on the first person that they interview. Oh, that person was great. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That person was great. They have zero experience. No, that person's great. Because they don't have enough options. They're not putting enough out there to get 20 people. And then we also talk about this with businesses. When you have employees, keep looking for more people, because you never know who you might find that might be better than who it is that you have working for you. Okay, when you're out there and you find a job, keep looking. You never know if you have an opportunity that's out there waiting for you that you might have missed, or that you might not have saw before, or that might not have been the right timing then. Okay, to the point where it's like, hey, you know what? I got a better opportunity at this company. Now I could come back to the company that I'm with and I can negotiate. I can say, hey, you know what? I know I've been with you guys for a year, but I got this other company. They're wanting to bring me on, and they're offering me a lot more than you guys are. So what can you do for me? What can we do here? I've shown you that I've been with you for a year. I've shown you my loyalty. I've not been late. I've worked my ass off. Okay, I've done everything it is that you've ever asked me. I've come in on my days off. I've done everything. These guys are offering me a lot more than you guys are. What can you guys do compared to them? So you're put in that position because you have options. Options creates momentum. That creates confidence. Okay, now arrogance creates confidence. It gives me the opportunity to be able to say, hey, you know what? I have so many options out there. There's a lot of people out there that want to hire me. Okay? I don't need to sit here and settle. I don't need to worry that if I make a wrong move, I'm going to get fired and I'm done. And that brings me back to the point of what ended up happening last year with the pandemic. Everybody was, again, 78% of that U.S. population, 78% that lived check to check, 78% were waiting on that stimulus check. 78% are on unemployment. Well, not all 78%, but majority of people are on unemployment. Majority of people were waiting on that stimulus check. What can I do? Now that's because I'm reliant on where it is that I'm at. I'm not looking to grow. I'm not looking to increase my skill set. I'm not looking for more opportunities. This is the mindset you guys need to have this year. You need to have the mindset of growth. What am I going to do to grow? What am I going to do different than I did last year? What positions can I be in 6 months from now, a year from now? What are going to be my long-term goals? And what do I need to do in order to hit them? They need to be big. They need to be massive. You can't have it where it's like, oh, I got one goal, one target, and it's something small. I want to make an extra $2 an hour at my job. That's not big enough. Okay? I want to drop 10 pounds this year. That's not big enough. You need more than that. Okay? I want to find the right person. That's not big enough. I want to be in a relationship. Again, that's not big enough. You get into a relationship, then what? You drop the weight, then what? You get a new job, then what? You make more money than you made before, then what? What's next? You didn't think that far ahead. It wasn't that big. It wasn't like, hey, I want to make more money so I can take the money and I can do this. I want to get a new job so I can get the confidence and I can learn the skill set so I can do this. I want to get into a relationship with the right person so that way when I'm in the relationship, then this can happen. You guys aren't thinking that far ahead. You guys just think, hey, I want this. I want to go to the gym and I want to get in better shape. All right, you get it. You go to the gym, you get in better shape, and then what? What's next? Now it turns into a routine. Every day you're in the gym. Every day you're doing the same thing. Every day it's the same routine. And then what happens 2-3 months later? You drop. No more goal. No more resolution. It's over. Why? Because it wasn't big enough. You need to do things bigger. That's what this year should be about. Your mindset, the goals and targets that you hit. Like I said, the target is what it is that I need to do in order to hit the long-term goal that I have. I want to get in better shape. I want to bulk up. Okay. I want to live. I want to get in good shape. I want to eat better. I want to be healthier for what? And then what am I going to do in order to get there? And then when I do that, I need to think past that. What is this going to change in my life? Career-wise, okay, what is the career going to do? Is it just going to pay my bills? Or is it going to take me to a new level that I've never been in before, that's unfamiliar, that's maybe a little bit intimidating to me? That's why a lot of people don't get into, and I noticed this also, a lot of people don't apply to bigger jobs than what they're used to because they're intimidated and they're scared. They're like, oh, I tell people, I'm like, why, you have a company that's hiring and they're paying $50,000 a year. Okay. That's $1,000 a week. Okay, they're paying $50,000 a year. Person is normally used to making $30,000 a year, and they're like, no, I don't want to apply there. I'm like, why? Why not? Well, because I don't have a degree, or I don't think that they're gonna want to bring me on. You're already doubting yourself. You need to do it, and you need to keep doing it. And guess what? If they pull you in for an interview, now you start getting experience of how to deal in circumstances of companies at that level that pay at that level. So now you start understanding things a lot more better. Or I can't word it like that. You start understanding things better in a sense where it's like, now I know what to do in a situation like this. I've never been in a situation where it's like I had a company that was interviewing me to make $1,000 a week. I never been in an interview like this before. I never had to answer questions like this before. Even if you come out with nothing, you still got the experience. So now you know what it's like. So now you compare it to the situation and circumstances you're in, and now you know what you need in order to get that. It's all about growth. That's what it should be about this year. You guys should not think about, oh, okay, it's a new year. You guys need to think about, what am I going to do to grow this year? What am I going to do at the end of the year? 2022, January 2022 of next year, what position am I going to be in? We talked about this earlier in the meeting that I was in. Where do I want to see myself a year from now? What can I say that I achieved and I accomplished and that was done so drastically different compared to any other year before that? Where am I going to be at January 2022? These are things you guys need to think about. Okay, I know for me, I got big targets. I got massive goals. Okay? I want to do better. I want to constantly do better. But that's me. I can't speak for everybody else. I can educate. I can talk to people all day long about subjects like this and what they need to do and get you guys motivated and everything. But that's not enough. You guys need to take the action. You guys need to be the ones to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to do something different. To change, you have to change. You got to change the circumstances of whatever it is that was going on last year. If you have a business, you got a company and your company didn't grow and your company got affected by the pandemic, you got to think about, what do I need to do differently? Because like I said, everything from last year is carrying over to this year. What's going to be different from last year than this year? I'm sorry. What's going to be the difference? What's going to be different this year than what happened last year? If everything carried over and you're doing the same thing. No, I want to start cutting things. Yeah, I do something every year, and I go through my phone and I start cutting people. I start cutting people off. I cut people off because it's like I want to be better. So I kind of treat it like storage, right? So it's like I have a max amount of contacts. This is the way I look at it. I have a max amount of contacts, and the max amount of contacts that I have, I can't fit more contacts in there unless I let go of certain people. So I start letting go of people. I start saying, hey, you know what? This person doesn't serve me anything. This person doesn't do anything for me. This isn't something that I like to hear every day. This is that. I start cut. Now I have 20 other people that I could fit in. So now let me go find 20 people that are better. Let me go find 20 people that motivate me, that make me feel good, that I want to be around, that I learn things from. Okay? Same, and that should be every aspect of your life. Okay, not even, I'm using me for an example when it comes to people, but I'm changing certain things because I know when I change, my circumstances change. Whatever it is that I'm doing in the process changes. Okay? It all comes down to the mindset. And that's the thing. People get intimidated, like I said, because they don't have the right mindset. Your mindset shifted. This all comes down. Look, I could talk about this, like I said, I could talk about this for days, right? About taking responsibility, about writing your goals down, about the difference between goals and targets, and why you need to have a target, and at the same time as you have the goal. Okay, execution. I could talk about execution, what you need to do, the amount of activity you need to do, the amount of production that you need to have, all of that. And this could be pertaining to you have a career, you got a you're in a 9-to-5 job, you're in sales, you're in business. They could apply anywhere across the board, right? But if your mindset is not there, if you're still thinking about what happened, you're never going to go forward. It's not going to happen. Okay, I mentioned a car accident earlier, right? I get into an accident, the accident happened. I can't focus on that. If I made a mistake somewhere, if I messed up with somebody, if I got in an argument with somebody, I said the wrong thing, I did something wrong, whatever the case is, that's done. I can't focus and dwell on that. I got to focus on, okay, what did I learn from that? Because if you didn't learn, here's the thing. Here's something also important, right? If you didn't learn from whatever it is that you did, it wasn't worth it. Then it becomes wasted time. I value time. For me, my whole thing is time. That's something that I value. Other people value different things. For me, it's time. I don't want to waste my time on certain things. So how do I make sure that I'm not wasting my time? I try to look at whatever it is that happened for what it is, but I try to dig a little deeper and figure out what it is I learned from it. Because when I learn from it, it becomes an experience. And the experience that it becomes, I could then take that experience with me, and I can make sure to make sure that never happens again. Now, is it never going to happen again? Maybe. But I can make sure it maybe or may not, okay? But at least I'm in control, because at that point I'm like, okay, I know what I did wrong. There's a lot of times I get on the phone with customers and I'm like, I know better. I do something wrong and I get off the call and I'm frustrated. And I'm like, damn, what could I have said better? I know what I did wrong. I should have asked him this. I should have said that. See, that's learning. So then I write that down. And then the next call, I'm paying attention to that. I'm like, hey, you know what? I can't say that. I got to ask this question. I got to avoid saying this. I got to avoid saying I got to avoid saying but. I got to avoid saying certain words that might throw people off. Okay? You want to apply this to a you're looking for work and you're in an interview? Okay, you could apply it to that. I got to make sure I'm saying certain things, and I got to make sure that I'm avoiding certain things. I got to make sure I'm keeping eye contact with the person. I got to make sure I'm not looking away. I tend to look away sometimes because I'm thinking. That's something I'm working on. Something I'm working on is looking people in the eyes a little bit more. Okay? So I could seem a little bit more trustworthy. Because for some people, the stereotype is, hey, you look away, you're not as trustworthy as if somebody was looking me dead in my eyes. That's for some people. Doesn't mean that I'm dishonest. It just means that that's a habit that I need to break. Okay, so this is something that you guys need to focus on this year. Okay, thinking different, your mindset. Okay, understanding what it is that happened last year, what you could do better, setting the right goals and targets, massive goals. Okay, and then figuring out the targets to there. Listen, you might not even achieve it. Your goals should be so massive you can't even achieve them by the end of this year. That's how big they need to be, in my opinion. Your goals need to be so big that it's only going to be halfway achieved this year. Okay? And then executing. Making sure that whatever it is that you're going to be focused on doing, and you're going to execute, Okay, you're doing it at a different level compared to the levels that you did it last year. Like I said, to change, you have to change. You want things to change from last year, you got to change what it is that you're going to be doing this year going forward. So you're in sales, you got to make more calls. You got to increase your productivity. There's a lot of people that are excited about the new year. Get on the phone and start making calls. If you've never made a call before, now's the time to learn. Get on the phone and start learning. If you're in business or you're just getting ready to start a business this year, get going. Stop thinking about it. So many times people spend so much time thinking and not enough action. Another thing that we talk about. People are like, oh, I want to have the perfect business. I want to have the perfect structure. I want to have the perfect this. I want everything to be perfect. And then I'm going to push it out there. Yeah, well, so much time gone by. You have 2 other people that already thought of the idea and already pushed it out there and are already out there making money. Still, you're still sitting there thinking, okay, how can I make this so perfect and so amazing that people are going to buy into it? And then before you're getting ready to push it out, you're like, damn, somebody beat me to it. Facebook, right? Facebook was when Facebook was created, if you guys remember that far back, okay, some people just jumped on Facebook. Other people have been on from the beginning. Okay, you guys notice all the different tweaks and all the different features that they have now compared to what they had before. Same thing for all the platforms, not just Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, YouTube. They were bare bone apps. It was bare bones. But what they threw it out there because they wanted to just put something out there for people to start building that momentum, building that attention. They weren't sitting there like, okay, this has to be perfect. No. Zuckerberg wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna make sure this is 100% perfect, so that way, nobody could be. No, he was just like, look, I just want to create this, and I want to push it out there, and I want to build enough momentum to get enough attention, to get enough people on board to the point where it's like I build this to be so massive, and that's what he did, and he pushed it out there, and then he started adding more stuff to it. Okay, I'm going to add this feature. Okay, I'm going to add this feature. Okay, I'm going to add a chat feature. That's cool. Okay, now we're going to put video. Now we're going to do like I'm doing now. Now we're going to do live. Now we're going to give people the ability to be able to go live and talk to people and invite people in. And then we're going to start creating, bigger and better ads, and different types of ways that we can expose, that people can expose themselves and get themselves out there more. And collaborate on things. Now we're going to start groups. Now we're going to start rooms. Now we're going to start this. Now we're going to start that. He started adding stuff afterwards. He didn't do it in the beginning, but that's the problem. So many of you guys fail to execute anything because you spend so much time sitting there planning and preparing and having the most perfect thing there ever is. Okay, and meanwhile, you have other people that are already thinking about what it is you're doing. They're beating you to the punch, and we always talk about this, right? It's not the biggest brand that's known. What's the saying? It's best known beats best. I could have the best product in the marketplace, but if it's not the best known, I'm not going to do anything. I could go in. Like I said, I could talk about this for days. We're running out of time now, but I could talk about this for days. Restaurants, when we come across the restaurants, people that start restaurants, they start a restaurant because they feel that their food is amazing and they got great recipes and they could go and they could offer things that aren't being offered, out there right now. And what do? They go and they start the restaurant and they think it's that easy. It's not easy. You got to get out there. You got to get the people know. You got to get known. I've been to restaurants and the food isn't all that great, but everybody knows the brand. Everybody knows the restaurant. Everybody talks so highly about it. Because they offer a lot more than that. And then over time they improved that area. But the most important thing to them was getting known. That's for that industry. I mean, other industries, different things end up, it really all depends. It all depends on the industry. It depends on the type of business you're in. It depends whether you're in a career. Like I mentioned, I come on this show and I do this show for people that are looking for work. So you're in a career, you're looking to increase your income, finding ways. Okay, I didn't touch on that, but I talked about as far as if people were looking for work, they got laid off. But if you're in a job right now, you're looking to get more income, now's the time to do it. Now's the time to start looking at different avenues. So like I said, you don't have to rely on any help from anybody whatsoever. The only way that that's going to happen is start looking for other opportunities. There's tons of opportunities out there. Or in 2021, there's a lot of businesses that are opening up, a lot of new ideas, a lot of things that were happening last year that people thought of that now they're getting ready to execute. So you guys need to start looking at things like that. Look at your options. Look at ways that you can increase whatever standpoint that you're in to make sure that this year is a much better year than last year. So that's it for today. Or for this, you could say special. I mean, I extended it long. I wanted to give as much. I wanted to throw as much in there as I could and as I could fit in. I didn't want to. I mean, there's a lot more that I could go over and talk about. It's just gonna. It's a lot, you know. But I'll continuously push more out as the year goes. That's one of my goals, to get you know, as much more information out compared to what it is that I've been pushing out so far. I want to meet a lot more people. I want to do a lot more speaking gigs so I can educate a lot more people. I can help a lot more people. That's one of my goals. Obviously, grow the business even bigger than what it is right now, and just, you know, overall just growth, you know. And that's who I look to surround myself with. That's who I look to learn from. That's who I look to want to be around. People that are like-minded like that, and pushing themselves higher up and higher up and higher up. So listen, guys, if you like this, you know, like, post, share, comment below. If you didn't, you know, tell me what you didn't like. You know, like, just comment it. Leave me a comment, drop a comment. Let me know what you didn't like. I'll make sure to see if I can throw that in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it found you well. I hope 2021 is better than it was last year. I know that it's going to be for me. I hope it is going to be for you. I hope you're able to take whatever it is that I pushed out with this. You're able to take this and at least get somewhat of it to make it the best year you ever had. Some of you, you know, are tuning into me for the first time, and, you know, just keep coming on. I'm going to try to, again, I do my best to try to help out as many people as possible. So again, you guys were in the corner. I'll see you guys next Monday, and you guys have a great week. Happy New Year, and stay great. I'll leave out like I normally do. Your choices today are a reflection of the outcome tomorrow. I will see you guys next Monday.